Hey, happy Saturday. I think it's October 19th. I don't know if any of you have ever had the experience of, or maybe you've heard somebody say this. Somebody who's been getting a house built. It's like they set up a time frame with their contractors to have this house built. Like, yeah, we'll have this done by next year, next January. And then like 3 years later, the the process is still going on. This is just a story I've heard from people who have had houses or buildings built. It's like it winds up taking a lot longer than the originally estimated time frame. Anyway, that's the experience that I'm having with this new website and getting this membership platform put up. I've got another Zoom call with these wonderful guys out in Bangladesh who are helping me build this new website, and so that I can get this virtual offering to you. I do want you all to know that I am updating more. I'm just kind of throwing videos out throughout the week, putting them out there on the YouTube channel that I created accidentally. A story for another day. But and I welcome any questions or comments there. I've been getting a lot of emails and texts, and I thought maybe that could be a good place to concentrate some of that, so we can stay in touch. It's been just over a week now that I've not been studio teaching, and I certainly miss that. It's one of my very favorite things. Big life surprise that was going to be such a major love for me. But looking back at it with just a little bit of distance, I can see how much energy that takes for me. It takes a lot of my personal energy. And I think one of the gifts of making that decision to stop the public teaching, put a big pause on it for now, is I can use that energy for things like this. I'm hearing from some of you that I haven't heard from in years, and gosh, you've moved, you're all over the place, and I might even be able to come and visit some of you. Like, one of you's in Boulder, and I'll definitely be out in that area because my niece is out there, and I'll be able to get a cup of coffee with one of you who I went on a, where did we go? I guess we went on a Peru retreat, which is where we last saw each other. So it's really nice to be able to be in touch with more of you. That and thank you for getting me your emails, because that's how I'm able to do this. I wanted to share something with you, a reading. I have felt all over the place these last couple of weeks. I don't know if you're feeling the same. If something's happening for me, it feels like it's human. And so that's why I share my experience, to see how this can connect us and serve as a support for all of us. I've been theming the classes that I've been teaching for many years now, and it has become, those themes acted as like this weekly energetic anchor that I could understand life through this anchor, or this lens, because it gave me this larger, I guess lens is the word, to look at my life. I think sometimes if we get, when I speak for myself, I can get really caught up in the details of life, and it becomes overwhelming. But if I can scope up and look at it from this larger bird's eye view, there's a calm. I mean, I can imagine a bird way up in the sky right now looking down at everything, and it must look really beautiful and peaceful down here. But if you go into, you get down onto the street and you go into that neighborhood, you see the crying baby and maybe the the arguing couple, and you know, this person's having car problems. It's like you get into the details, and that can feel like too much to me. So yesterday was Friday. I would have normally been putting some finishing touches on a weekly theme for class, and I thought, well, what is the class that you would have taught? I'm listening to some of the music that I would have been playing for class. I keep finding music, and I'm like, oh, this would be perfect, and I'll get it to you. But in case you're feeling that feeling of overwhelm, I guess, to put it simply, and you're looking for a bit of an anchor, maybe this will be supportive for you as well. This is from October 19th. This is today's reading. That's funny that this landed today, because I found this a couple of days ago. I've read this before, and it's a good one. It's titled Our Sense of Calling. Every year, around the scalp of the planet, the caribou run the same path of migration along the edge of the Arctic Circle. They are born with some innate sense that calls them to this path, and every year along the way, packs of coyote wait to feed on the caribou. And every year, despite the danger, the caribou return and make their way. Often nature makes difficult things very clear. What feels like confusion is frequently our human refusal to see things for what they are. What lesson do the caribou shout to us with the thunder of their hooves as they deepen the crown of the planet? They are evidence, even as we speak, of the fact that in every living thing there is an inner necessity that outweighs all consequence. I'll read that one more time. The caribou, they are evidence, even as we speak, of the fact that in every living thing there is an inner necessity that outweighs all consequence. For the caribou, it is clear what it is. For spirits carried in human form, it is a blessing and a curse that we don't always know our calling. Part of our migration is the finding out. What is it we are called to, beneath all formal ambition? The caribou tell us that though there are risks and dangers that wait in the world, we truly have no choice but to live out what we are born with, to find and work our path. These elegant animals bespeak a force deeper than courage, and though some would call the caribou stupid, the mystery of their migration reveals to us the quiet, irrepressible emergence of living over hiding, of being over thinking, of participating over observing, and thriving over surviving. In regions near the Arctic, the caribou are not just seen as animals living out an instinct at all cost. Rather, it is believed that their endless run, no matter what stands in their way, is what keeps the earth turning. And somewhere, beneath all hesitation and despair, it is our endless call to being, in each of us and all of us together, that keeps the fire at the center of the earth burning. So, I love this book so much. So Mark writes a passage for every day. I know this is backwards on here. And then he gives the reading, but then he puts these little experiential points at the end of these readings. And so on this one he writes, sit quietly and ask yourself what you are called to. If you don't have a sense of inner calling, please read on anyway. Then the next one. Describe what arises without any conclusion. If you feel called to sing, do not conclude you need to become a singer. If you feel called to paint, do not conclude you need to become a painter. If you feel called to plant, do not conclude you need to become a gardener. This is hitting right now for me. And then the last one is stay with the essence of what arises. Receive it as an energy that lives inside you and not as a goal you have to achieve. So what I'm feeling from this right now is, I felt called to make the decision to leave the studio. I felt called to make the decision to buy a van and potentially get out west. And I felt called to connect with you all online. And I'm just going to sit with that. This is the energy that I'm called to. Instead of coming up with some sort of a conclusion, because I think the question that I've gotten most often is like, when are you leaving? When are you leaving? Where are you going? When are you leaving? And the answer is I don't know. I really am just following this call, and it's like it's going to shift and change every day. And I think I know there is something larger unfolding, and I'm doing my very best as a human to interpret the information that I'm getting. I had sat down with somebody this week to grab some coffee, and in that conversation, I think I said something out loud that I was like, oh yeah, it's something I'd been holding inside of myself, but I hadn't said out loud yet. And the conclusion was, I don't even think the trip out west or living in the van, that's not even the part that matters. It's, even if I didn't get in the van and drive out west, who cares? Maybe that was the catalyst to get me moving in a different direction. It was almost an excuse to heed a call. Now, yes, I am still planning on getting out there. It'll probably be a shorter trip, just because I want to get back here and spend some time with a friend who's gonna need some assistance after a big surgery, and I'd like to spend that time with her. And I don't know, maybe be back and forth between here and out west. It's like impossible for me anyway to be making plans now, and I don't really need to. I don't really want to. It feels like there's this saying that the spirit is in spontaneity, and yeah, that's where I want to live. So anyway, this is an update for you all. Again, I'll say more on YouTube. Thank you for being patient with the virtual offering. Maybe I'll type this up and I'll get this on the newsletter so that you can read it also. Mark Nepo's work is so rich. It's like I have to read it over and over. I have to hear it over and over. And it's like the more time I spend with it, the more it lands in me. And I really do get a great sense of calm from it. It's that bird's eye view. Ooh, so many more thoughts are coming in now. Anyway, you don't need me to start rambling off on another tangent. I love you all, and I'll keep up with you on the YouTube. And thank you all for listening, for reaching out, and I'm hearing from many of you, and I'm feeling your love and sending it right back. Love you. More soon. Bye.